morning. So here we are on Instagram. Here we are on Facebook. I knew you wanted to come in here and join me, Knox. So today we're going to talk about vision because so many people don't have a vision and they never start. Were you afraid when you started your YouTube channel?
Kind of.
You were kind of afraid?
Yeah.
What were you afraid of?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Why aren't you looking at my viewers? Jenna says, hi, Knox.
Hi.
Jenna has a little boy, Gabe. He's about your age. So you guys, I didn't know Knox was going to join me today. I was just getting ready to rock and roll. And then he's like, Grandma Barb. I'm like, Knox, you want to be on No Guts, No Story? So can you tell them about your YouTube channel if they want to follow your dinosaur adventures? What's the name of it?
Since I like pugs and I kind of like aliens.
He likes pugs. Brooklyn's had lots of pugs, but right now we have a pug. And aliens? Pugs and aliens together?
Yeah.
But the YouTube channel isn't Pugs and Aliens. What's on the YouTube channel?
It's dinosaur toys and me playing games.
Yeah, dinosaur toys and him playing games. So he's rocking that. And if they want to subscribe, how do they subscribe to? What's the name of it? Alien Pug VR?
Yeah.
Alien Pug VR. Can you tell them what your name is? You have to look at the audience. Tell them what your name is.
Knox.
Knox. And it's Alien Pug VR.
Yeah.
So he is a YouTuber. And he makes videos every single day. He just plays with his dinosaurs, films what he's doing, and then he edits the videos. One day he told me I really need his help with what you told me my YouTubes don't look very good. Oh, thumbnails. Yeah. What do you think I could do to my thumbnails to look better on YouTube?
I could change them.
He could change them. He said I should hire him to make my YouTube look a little better with my thumbnails. Yeah. So anyway, I gave Knox one of my old phones today and he is making some videos. We might even go to the dinosaur museum, but okay, buddy, I got to get rocking and rolling here. So if you guys are watching, yesterday was monumental. We were picking them up from the airport and let's just say it was the biggest day in the history of my career. Shout out our amazing leaders, customers, and affiliates. I came home, my daughter Brooklyn had flowers all over the island. She was like, Mom, I'm so proud of you. And you know what's crazy, guys? It didn't even seem like that big of a deal because I visualized this 2 years ago and it didn't happen on the day I thought it would happen. And so as we were driving, how many of you know 2 years ago we went live in our kitchen and we were just beta testing a product? So that day I was so disappointed in the results. And I remember my son saying, Mom, are you serious? You're that disappointed? And we had a record-breaking day, like 30,000 customers, but it was nothing like I thought I would have after 3 decades in the sometimes things don't go as fast as you want. Sometimes things don't go as planned. And the very people you think will be standing next to you are not always the ones that are there in the end. Sometimes they're not even there in the beginning. And so what I want to talk to you guys today is some of my journals and how I could visualize. What's that?
And then more vision. Yeah.
And then more vision. Yeah. I journal with me today because obviously snuggling a baby and helping kids get snacks. You and Brooklyn were making art projects. They were in the attic. They were bringing down Christmas stuff. And normally I really prepare for a Saturday morning. And last night, as I was closing my eyes, doing my gratitude, just thanking the Lord for so many blessings in my life, including having these 4 children here for 10 days. You know, last year that didn't happen. Didn't have them here on Christmas. Thanksgiving was different. The year before, you know, when you lose a loved one during the holidays, losing a loved one during the holidays really changes the energy and the way you feel. And so it's been work. And today I'm going to ask you guys to grab a notebook and we're going to put in some work. And I want you to think about your number one reason why. When I think about my number one reason why, I think about these children and grandchildren that are watching their mom get back up. I think about the words that they hear coming out of my mouth, the conversations that happen in the room, never talking about people, but talking about ideas, talking about goals, talking about trips. Knox and I have had a trip on the dream board. Where do we want to go? Where do we always say we're going to go on a trip? And then you remind me we didn't go there yet. What's on the dream board?
So, you know, like the place where like it has the dinosaur statues?
Yeah, the dinosaur. Well, Universal is what you keep reminding me. Yeah. He keeps reminding me that we didn't go to Universal yet. But do you remember a few years ago, you told me a place you wanted to go that you always dreamed of going? And then we went there. Remember on the dream board, the vision that we had of where you told me you dreamed of going? Mm-hmm. Where did we go on a trip when Callie got engaged? And there was all the characters. We've been on a lot of trips. Do you remember Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yeah. Knox used to tell me, Grandma Barb, I want to go to Hawaii. And then we did. But it was years. So he reminds me, this poor kid has a birthday right after Christmas within the week. So he always reminds me, like, we didn't go to Universal yet, but we will. And so how many of you have things that you want to accomplish, but you didn't do it yet? You have things that you say you want to do, but you don't do them. Thank you, Knox. You're the best guest. Oh my goodness, guys. Well, I wasn't going to take him out of the screen. So I have delayed here a little bit on my notes, but there is no cuter face than that kid. So I want you guys to think about your vision. And I want you to listen as I reflect on some journals that I had. Where will you be 2 years from today? Where will you be 20 years from today? Where will you be 10 years from today? Because 2 years ago today, I felt defeated. And everyone else thought it was a great day, but I knew what my capability was. Knox, you can't do that during my video. They won't be able to take notes. I'll let you come in at the end, okay? I'll let you come in at the end. You can chill right here. Let's go. He said, let's go. I got my hype man here today. So what would you do if you weren't afraid? And I think about that day 2 years ago and what I thought we would do that day, because it was Black Friday and what I had always done in the industry. And I remember watching the numbers come in and I was like, dang, I guess I lost it. I guess I don't have what I used to have. True story. And looking back on my journal that day, I did 30% of what I thought I could do with it being a Black Friday. I had an income that I knew I was used to, that I needed. I had growth. I had leaders. And then when I did what I said I was going to do, I looked around and I had some very loyal, 10 or 12 very loyal friends next to me. But it wasn't the people that I thought would be the biggest that were actually the ones carrying the weight on the journey. In fact, some of the very people that I thought would be right by my side turned on me, tried to stop me, talked bad. And here's what I didn't do. I didn't pay any attention to anything that was an obstacle. Yeah. Looking at my journals, I'm going to encourage you to do what I did. I went in a room. I went in a closet. I went in a basement. I went in a bathroom. And I prayed every morning and I thanked as if it had already happened. So I want to ask you what you're afraid of, and we're going to dial this in, guys. What are you afraid of? And that very thing that you're afraid of, which is probably exactly what I was afraid of, it's the big thing. So what is the big thing that you want, that you would do if you knew you could not fail? If you're miserable in your life right now, business, relationship, any relationship, where you leave, you know, the conversations that you have, whatever it is, if you're miserable where you're at and you're playing it safe because you don't want to rock the boat, you're playing it safe because you can't lose what you have, you're hanging on to such minimal compared to what you're worth, that was me. Now, there's something different between a human and every other animal on the planet. We have imagination. You have an imagination. And so years ago, I was seeing myself there. I was seeing myself with healthy children when I did not have healthy children. I was seeing myself with a good financial situation when I was actually not in a very good situation. in a lot of areas without talking about anyone. Anyone that's ever great, they've had obstacles, they've had challenges, they've had really dark nights. They've had times where they were like, I can't believe that this is my situation. And 2 years ago on Black Friday, when my children and everyone else thought, man, this is amazing, look at what's happening, I had fear. And the reason that I had fear is because I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to let anyone down. And I had burned the ships and I had everything on the line. When you sell your mom or mother-in-law's home, when you sell a med spa where all of your family is employed, when you sell a property that's actually cash flowing, that's pretty much paid off, and you say, I'm all in, it's a bold move. And that's what I did 2 years ago. I had a vision of what could be. And I wanted it to be all up to, if we fail, it's all on me. I don't need anyone else's money. I don't need anyone else taking a risk. I bet on myself. And you guys, when I bet on myself, a lot of other people didn't bet on me. How many of you have a dream, you have a goal, you would go all in, but you have naysayers around you. You have people trying to start rumors about you, trying to stop you, trying to tear you down, and you're afraid of what might happen if you don't hit your goal. That's why you stay stuck. And that is ego. That is ego. That is you edging God out. I want you to write that down. What if what you're in the midst of right now has to happen for what you're becoming? So I want you to live in a future of today with vision, because this is what I have been doing now for 2 years. And yesterday was a massive breakthrough, massive breakthrough. Yesterday, in one day, we did more than we would normally do in 30 days. Yes, in one day, we did more than we would normally do in 30 days just 2 years ago. But here's what I never did. I never quit. So number one, I want you to go in a quiet place. I want you to go in a closet, a bathroom, find your place. And I want you to start doing something with me every day. I want you to visualize yourself with the end in mind. Even when the debts are high, the funds are low, everyone quits you. Nobody is saying yes. People are being mean. There's bullies. There's naysayers. You have some unfortunate event like your utilities are off, or your car's repossessed, or you're in a financial bankruptcy, or you're going through a divorce or a separation. Times are going to get tough in any success story. Maybe not financially, maybe emotionally. Maybe not financially or emotionally. Maybe there's something going on with your health. No great person ever just became great. They faced adversity in the face and they didn't turn back. I'm going to ask you, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? And I'm going to call you on something. You're playing small. You're playing on about 10% of your full potential because you're actually worried what other people might think or say, if they're going to approve, if they're going to laugh at you, if they're going to see you fall. Here's the reality. What's the worst case scenario? You fall, they're still stuck in a rut and they never tried anything. At least you try and fail, because failing forward is exactly how Dave got to where he is today. It's exactly how I got to where I am today. And even my children have been through so much. I'm telling you, when it is evident that you are facing adversity, that's when you grow to actually have the success. So how many of you have evidence that it's tough? How many of you have evidence that there's opposition? You're having to overcome some obstacle. You're having to get through some chapter grueling. So bankrupt, utilities turned off, dog in the pound I couldn't even get out, bounced a check for baby formula. That was my character building, conditioning years of being the person that you see today. Now, sometimes it will be hard, but other times you're going to have incredible success. And I want you to embrace both, because your day will come. Your day will come like yesterday did for me, for so many people on my team. And they will say, oh my gosh, what a day. It wasn't about yesterday. Yesterday, there was 500,000 in sales in about 4.5 hours. It was insane. Everyone was saying, how is this happening? How it's going to happen is none of your business. Do you see it happening in order for it to actually happen in your life? See, I had this vision of that much on the very first day 2 years ago because I knew what I invested. I knew the worth. I knew the formula. I knew the vision. I knew the character behind what we were doing. But not everybody could see the vision of what I could see. Today they do. And an army is building. So I want to ask you a question. If you quit, will your day ever come? The answer is no. If you don't start, will your day ever come? The answer is no. So it's not becoming a millionaire, becoming whatever rank you're shooting for, becoming happy and debt-free, living in the country, whatever your vision is, becoming an Olympic athlete, becoming a professional pianist, or becoming a big star on Broadway. There was a day that was my dream. I wanted to be a big star on Broadway. I trained. I thought I was going to dance. I went to meet Baryshnikov. I was in New York City on Broadway backstage when my friends were all in a limo getting drunk because 18 was the age and we were on a senior trip. I was visualizing myself at Metamorphosis with Baryshnikov signing my program. Those dreams all shattered. That was not in the cards for me. God had a better plan. What if I was still hanging on to the fact, but I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be on Broadway. I wanted to be a ballerina. I wanted to move to the city. Can you even imagine? I actually was engaged prior to marrying my husband, Dave. There was nothing that could make it work. I tried so hard to make a wrong a right. And later in life, I learned that that person was never able to have children. Now, I want you to imagine Barb Pitcock never able to have children, or those 4 beautiful grandchildren I just talked about. Sometimes when you're going through things and you feel in your gut that it's not right, you got to listen to your instinct. Have your imagination help you begin with the end in mind so you actually can have your day. Your day is coming. Your day is in the cards. It's you that won't play. Your day is right there, but you have to take a risk because faith without a risk is dead. Faith without action means you really don't have faith. If you did, you would take action. You say you have faith, but then you don't make a move. So God's looking at you like, as soon as you have faith, I'll move the puzzle, but you got to move if you want God to move. Success is not going to attack anyone. So the vision that you have is not just all you need. It's the character that you're building and the person that you become. So I have had to rebuild 3 times in my life. Lose it all and rebuild 3 times in my life. I learned some lessons. Your integrity and your honesty is everything. Do the right thing even when it's hard. Because money flows where energy goes, and your honesty, your quality of relationships, keeping your word, your willingness to actually work and follow through on what you said you were going to do. To set priorities and say, I'm going to sacrifice. To fail forward with every obstacle. Admit when you're wrong. I've been wrong. I made a mistake. Here's what I want to do to make it right. See, you're either going to be right or you're going to be rich. You're not going to be both all the time. You have to humble yourself or God will do it for you. And until you learn the lesson, it will keep being this cycle that you have to go through. See it with so much reality as if it's happened that you can stir up the courage to begin. On my wall is a massive painting, probably 48 by 36. It says, Winston Churchill. He said, success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Because when you know what you want is going to happen, you don't lose enthusiasm. You get back up. You keep going. You keep going. You keep going. It's the person that you become on this journey, not the money that you make. The person that you become on the journey during the character building years, during the conditioning, during the setbacks, and then a comeback, and then a setback, and then a comeback. When you decide, I want you to write down the word decide, because the book by Napoleon Hill that you all should read, Think and Grow Rich, says think and grow rich. It doesn't say work your ass off till you're 70 years old and grow rich. It says think and grow rich. So when you think and you visualize, you have this little nucleus that happens, right? You have your vision board, you have your goals, you have your 90-day productivity planner. If you don't have my 90-day productivity planner, I don't know how you're productive, because I couldn't do it without it, right? So I take this productivity planner and every day I visualize it. I have my action steps. At the end of the day, it checks me. What did you do? What did you not do? What do you need to move forward? What can you delegate? How did you grow today? Even if you failed, the question every day is, how did you grow? How did you grow today? Because as long as you're growing, you're not dying. As long as you're growing, you're getting better. Get better, don't get bitter. Fail forward, don't fail and stop. See, when you have that vision and you know what you want, there's this nucleus that happens, right? Like it's like the beginning of the beginning. It's like the ground cutting. And then when you visualize it every day, that nucleus gets energy. Money flows where energy goes. So you think, I want a black Escalade. All of a sudden you pass 6 of them. You never saw a black Escalade in your town before. Now everybody drives one, because what you want wants you. And the minute that you put it out there into the universe on your vision board, you not just dream it and think it, you speak it. This is mine. I'm going to have it. All of a sudden, the energy is all around it, and it's going. It's moving. Things are attracted to you. People call you out of the blue. Friends show up at your house. You run into someone in an airport. Your waitress wants to do whatever it is that you're selling. All of a sudden, because you had that vision and you took action, everything starts to line up. So it controls the vibration of the thought. Now, I'm a believer. I don't want to push my beliefs on you, but I'm a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. So do not question that this has anything to do with some crazy thing that's not that. When you read the Bible, it says, if you speak and you believe it, knock and the door shall be opened, right? Seek and ye shall find. What about where it talks about a man without vision will perish? This is all biblical too. So don't think that I'm doing some woo-woo stuff. It's worked for me for 30 years. Everything I write down comes to fruition. Now, here's where a lot of people will argue with me. They want to talk about what's not. In my house, we don't talk about what's not. I can have a child that is near death, and I will be talking about how good she is, how she's healed, how she's amazing, everything is good, the Lord is working in her life. I did that for 5 or 7 years until it became a reality. People got really tired of me. They would be like, why do you always say that? Why do you always project what you know dang good and well is not going to happen? Because I only speak what I want. I'm not giving any power to the enemy. And you know, the minute you start speaking what you want with your vision, everything starts to go your way. It might take 7 years, not 7 days, but the view from the top is going to be the same. You have 2 choices: stay stuck, hate your life, or have a vision of what you want your life to be like and take action. Last night when I got home and Brooklyn had flowers all over saying, Mom, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I said, this is not me. This is an absolute army. And she's like, all because I overdosed on fentanyl and Nana died of cancer. I said, it's not just that. It's not just that. It's those character building years where you have so much pain. You get so pissed off about the situation that you're in. And I'm sorry I said a cuss word, but when you get pissed off enough and you draw a line in the sand and you say, I'm not living this life anymore, then and only then can you move forward. Because most of you, your words and your thoughts and everything you're doing is in the past. You're talking about the mistake you made, the things that you did, how you wish things were different. You thought you'd be further. You can't believe you're still stuck. As long as you keep talking about that, saying it, looking at it, thinking it, and watching the statistics, the reality will be yours. You're creating this reality that you're living in. When I read a book once, and I'm thinking what the name of the book was. It's right there, Loving What Is. It was a book by Byron Katie. I read the book right after Dave's brother's suicide. And I will tell you guys, I hated the author. I hated everything that she had in the book. I hated everything that she said. And I didn't want to do the work. And the work was, is this really bad? And I was like, yeah, it's really freaking bad. Right after that, our company that we were working for 7 years just decided to go out of business and quit paying us. So now I had a depressed husband, a depressed mother-in-law, little children that were trying to figure out what happened to their happy family, a check that went away right after we moved out here into the country, into our, what we thought was our dream home. It sucked. And reading that book, have her say, is this really bad? What's bad about it? Or is it your thinking that makes it so? I had to really dissect what was happening in my life and what was bad. You see, there's people that will mourn the loss of something for the rest of their life. And they stay stuck telling that story. They can't move forward. When I look at Brooklyn, I don't see anything like the person that she was. I see the person that she has become. Sometimes you want to label yourself based on what you did in the past. Sometimes you want to label your financial situation based on how you failed. Sometimes you want to label your marital status as divorced, or I got left, or I'm a single mom, or I was abandoned child. And every time you keep saying this, you get more of that. So I had to change my thoughts. I had to change my words. I had to change my energy about every situation and say, is it really bad, or is it just my thinking that makes it so? Because if you decide to be poor, there's nothing I can do to help you. If you decide to be angry and mad for the rest of your life, there's not a single thing I can do. No way is abundance going to flow to you, because abundance and joy and wealth doesn't flow to pissed off people. They got to heal. They got to get better. They got to release it. They got to find the good. And sometimes, especially that year, it was hard to find the good. But when I could find the good, and then I said, I'm growing, I have a heart for people that are going through this. I will be more aware of everyone around me because of that suicide. I will be more loving. I will be more compassionate. I will never judge anyone again. I will not participate in news that destroys a child or a young person's self-esteem based on a decision or a failure that they had. I won't share the negative news. I won't listen to the negative news. I won't label anyone no matter what they did. I see people every day. They'll share a murder and they'll say, this guy should be hung. Okay. That's a great vibration for me to put out. Was it right what the person did? It's absolutely not right when a person makes a mistake. But that person is a child of God. And nothing any of you ever do, or anyone you read in the news, will ever cause as much pain as you caused him. When I think about my sins and what I've done and the pain that I have caused, I quit judging everyone else around me. And I am no better than any one of you. I humble myself, or God will do it for me. So yesterday, as much as I wanted to post how exciting it was to cross that barrier that we broke, I wrote the text and then I said, I'm going to recognize the leaders, because it's not me that did it. It's them. It's God. It's the people in the field. You have to stay humble on your journey. No matter how excited you get about your success, never have the mentality that you have arrived. Don't doubt your own ability, but never think that you have arrived, because the minute you think you have arrived, nobody coasts up a hill. You're going to slide right back down. When you hit a goal, you got to get a bigger dream, a bigger vision. Make decisions today that nothing will stop you. Nothing will stop you. And when somebody tries to stop you, you got to push. You got to keep going. You got to get back up. You got to work harder than you ever did. So if I could make it, let's just be clear, any of you can make it. There's no doubt that you have the ability. There's absolutely no doubt that you have the ability to make your dreams come true. If you will. So why would you not? Why would you not? Just go for it. Today, take a chance on you. The payoff can't be bad. I mean, look at you. The payoff could not be bad if you actually did what you know you could do with all the talents that he has given you, with all the time that you have, all the resources that would just line up. It's you. And if you will change the way you think and you will visualize the outcome you want, you will create the nucleus of what you desire and everything will start to flow. And when it starts to happen, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's happening. And then when it really, really happens and people say, how did you do that? You're going to say, you know what? I don't know. I wasn't even that surprised because I visualized it for so long. I knew that it was going to happen. When it did happen, I was like, yep. And we're just getting started. If you think that was big, wait till you see what we do today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day. See, you got to get around people that not only have the vision and the nucleus and the energy, but they take action. They're putting in the work. They're doing the daily. They're showing up. They're full of gratitude and love and joy. And they have the character, the integrity, the honesty, the culture, the people you really want to do life with. See, I'm at a point in my life at 54 years old. I'm not playing small and I'm not playing with people that are not the kind of people that I would want to spend every single day with. I'll help you if you're down. I'll help you grow. I'll help you change. I'll help you get better. I'll help you get healthy. I'll help you get wealthy. But I'm not going to sit in the muck with people that want to tear down. We're building an empire over here. It's life-changing. And the day that you say enough is enough and you draw a line in the sand and you say, I know I'm worth more. I know I could have more. I could be more. I could do more. Do you guys realize this is not a dress rehearsal? You're actually center stage. Like this is the real movie you're in. It's your life. You're in the midst of it. What they're going to say about you, what they're going to write about you, what they're going to remember about you, what your grandchildren feel from you is the only thing that they're going to talk about when you're gone. So why would you let a neighbor, a coworker, a boss, a teacher, a preacher, even a parent stop you from your dreams? I'm telling you guys, I am on fire for this. This life, it's going quick. The people in this life, they need hope. If you knew you had a solution to one of the biggest problems in the world and you believed that you could make impact, would you really care what anyone else thought? Because that's where I'm at and I don't care. Every single day I'm thinking to myself, there will be centers built all over the world. There will be free walk-in clinics. I will fund them all. I will have volunteers. I will have doctors. I will have preachers. I will have people in recovery. I will have so many success stories standing at those doors with open arms saying, come in here. Let us take care of you. Let us help you. Let us help you get back on top. And you know what, guys? That's what the world needs. I want to be the person for so many others that was there for me when I needed it the most. When I was 23 and bankrupt, I had a mentor. He taught me about true wealth. I never stopped talking about it because I learned the lesson in the depths of despair, financially ruined. Never ever thought I'd go through the things that I have gone through as a parent. But when I was at my lowest of lows, the one thing that brought me hope was when I could share something that I thought could help someone else going through what I was going through. I've been through a lot in 54 years, but you know what? It made me the person that I am today. It made me the person that I am today. So when you see adversity, most people turn around and run. They stop at the first sign of adversity. What I want you to do when you see adversity in your life, I want you to ask the question, what's in this for me? How am I going to grow? How am I going to learn? What wisdom am I going to gather? How about the strength? The days that I've literally been on the phone with someone saying, I just want to give up. I don't want to be alive anymore. And I'm literally telling them, you can't give up. And today they're like, I can't believe how far I've come in just a short time. Do you know all of you have people all around you that need you? They need you to give them hope. They need you to share with them your story and your testimony. They need you to witness about your faith and what's happened in your life because of it. And they need you to have a vision. If you're the head of the household, if you're the mom, the grandma, the wife, you need to have vision. Maybe you're the husband and you're watching. I tend to attract a lot of women, but there's a lot of men on here too. When you have a vision for your family and you want to build a legacy, trust me, the day you begin, it starts compounding. And that energy starts going and it starts growing. And all of a sudden, it just takes off like a snowball rolling down a hill, and you absolutely cannot stop it. I think back to 3 years ago, worst Thanksgiving in my life. My daughter was in a house she wouldn't even come out of. Later, overdosed, almost died. In fact, they said she was dead, but she lived. Thank you, Jesus. She lived. My mother-in-law did not. Lost a battle. Thanksgiving, everyone else was gathering to have meals with their family. We were deciding if it was too cold to go on the baseball field because she really wanted her funeral on a baseball field. We did play the song she wanted. The song she wanted, Put Me In, Coach. I'm ready to play. I have so many videos of her in the hospital in her final days, laughter, joy, telling jokes that we should play on Dave that day so he wouldn't be sad and he wouldn't be depressed and he wouldn't be angry. Like, she knew, she could see her faith was so strong. And the one thing that she said, and I have it in a little red book over here, it's just torn to smithereens. She read it every night. There was a verse in there about fear. And she said, I put it on the mountain. I put it on the mountain. Anything that she feared, and she knew that he would take it away. And he did so many times in her life. But her vision was always beginning with the end in mind. And, you know, we're all going to die. There's going to be a day where we're not going to be here anymore. That's inevitable. We know that's going to happen, right? But what are you doing with the time, the talent, and the treasures that he's blessing you with while you're here? That's the real question. When I think about Dave's mom, when I think about Cindy Pitcock, and I think about Thanksgiving, I'm going to make her chocolate sheet cake. I'm going to make her Brookville corn. Kelly's like, please bring the cucumber sandwiches when you bring my dog to Kansas City. They're landing. Darian gets about 5 days home from playing basketball in Spain. So they're landing Monday night at midnight, and then he has to go back on like the next Monday. But everyone's talking about her recipes, her food. Let's get out the Christmas balls that were painted that she always had. Do you remember last night we were sitting at Cracker Barrel? Do you remember when we used to sit at Cracker Barrel with Nana and play that stupid little game with the little golf tees? I'm telling you guys, the people around you feel your energy and your vision. They feed off that. Are you bringing it up? Are you bringing it down? Or are you just stagnant, going nowhere? Because really the only difference in a rut and a grave is one has a lid on it. That's really the only difference. Most people are floating through life like a ship without a rudder because they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to take a risk. They're too old. They're all washed up. The good old days are over. They're single. They don't have the skills. All the reasons to say that you can't. 3 years ago, I stood in a warehouse and I said, we will take over this warehouse. I didn't even have the first customer. 3 years ago, I had 12 friends that had tried a product. 12 friends that had tried a product. 5 of them are with me today. 30,000 people got hooked on the product. All the people I thought would build the biggest teams, They did travel or weight loss or some other thing. But here I was leading a parade. If you're a misfit, if you're depressed, if you're sad, if you're in recovery, if you're broke, if you're broken, if you feel labeled, if you feel despair, if you don't think anything can work for you, drink a mushroom juice. See if you feel like I do. After menopause, perimenopause, brain fog, sadness, grief, kid in trouble, jail time, all kinds of stuff happening, guys. Somehow I was waking up in the morning, drinking these 7 organic mushrooms with methylated B, putting in the source minerals to get all the toxins out. Because after Nana Cindy's situation, I was terrified I would end up sick. And you guys, I looked yesterday in one day, almost $250,000 in sales, over 500,000 in customer orders in a day. If I can do that with a vision and 7 organic mushrooms, every single one of you can achieve your goals and dreams. Yes, Melinda, I see you. Amy, I see you. You were there. Guys, there's been a lot of adversity, and I've had to push through. Last year, this very week, I would do my live streams, and then I would go visit Brooklyn in jail. It was this week last year when she got out. My energy, my vision was the same when it wasn't good as my energy and my vision when it was good. So you can tell me every bit of adversity you're facing in your life. If you are complaining and you are playing the victim card, you're never going to have victory. Don't look at what's not there. Look as if it's already there and speak it into fruition. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yesterday, I thought we were going to do double. I was like, we're going to double this by midnight, right? Always projecting the impossible. Always projecting the impossible, because what's the worst case scenario? You're going to wind up higher on your goals, closer to your dreams than you ever thought you would be if you didn't start. I got a call yesterday from my previous upline 2 days ago. The guy who was my upline when a company was suing me, trying to destroy me. The phone rang. My daughter had it. I don't even put his name in my phone, just initials, right? Like it was that bad. My daughter sees the initials. She looks at my husband. She goes, "Could that be Tom?" She goes running with it. I answer the phone. This is what he said. He said, "I remember when you teamed up with who you teamed up with, when you did what you did, people were asking me about you." And he said, "Of all the people, if there's someone I would bet on, it would be them." My daughter grabbed the phone. He talked about her sobriety, her battle, how proud he was of her, how he could see the vision of what her life would be like. And I hung up the phone. And the words that he said, "I was just on the phone with someone and we were talking about you." None of them were talking about millions of dollars in sales. He said, "The person that you become is so much bigger than the money you make. The integrity, the loyalty, the honesty, doing the right thing, following through on what you said you were going to do, even when the entire world is trying to destroy what you want to build." I'm telling you guys, if God be for you, who dare be against you? There's nothing you can't do. If I can do it, I absolutely believe that you can do it. And this train is going, baby. You can either get on it or you can watch that smoke, because we are just getting started. And the vision that I have is so clear. And the mission and the movement that I'm on is so real. I cannot wait to see the lives that are changed. And I honestly pray and hope that yours is one of them. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. Hug your loved ones tight. There's a lot of empty seats at our table this year. Last year, the guy that was kind of a father figure to my siblings after my dad left for 30 years, he's been at every Thanksgiving. He's always at the door. He sat with Brooklyn the whole time and they talked. Every picture from last Thanksgiving when Brooklyn had just gotten home was her and Barry. And we lost him this year. I never would have thought that, right? You look at the empty seats around the table and sometimes it's hard to focus on the ones that are actually there. But I'm going to challenge you, be present, be forgiving, reach out, make amends, be all love, let it go. There's no amount of anything that should ever separate you from the people that love you. No shame, no guilt, no anger, no who did wrong and what mistake. Just be all love. Be authentically all love. Be joyful for what you have. There's a lot of people that would love to be in your shoes. Be so grateful and so full of joy and thanksgiving that you can't think about what's not there. And that's really the secret to happiness. Always finding what you're grateful for, because I will promise you, there will be a day that you will wish you had what you have today. I promise you that. And I've had to learn that lesson over and over again. Tina Joe, I'm sending you so much hug and loves. I know you are battling that very fresh grief. I see you guys. I love you. I thank you for tuning in every Saturday. If you got something out of today's broadcast, would you just drop in the comments, what's your one takeaway in your notes? I always pick one part of the video and my social media team will take that and make that the reel or the TikTok. What was your aha moment today? Help me out here so we don't have to spend so much time. What's the best message that you got out of today's broadcast so we can just clip that out and send it out to the world? And if you would do me a favor, this is completely free. I never charge for coaching. It's like a ministry to me. Would you just hit the share button or tag a friend that you feel like needs to know how much you love them and appreciate them, especially during this season? And just say, I was listening to this and I thought of you. Who comes to mind? Put the @ and tag them and share this broadcast. I can't wait to see your success story. If I can do it, I know you can do it. Go into that quiet room, guys. Go find your quiet room. Spend 30 minutes just visualizing your life where you want it to be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road. And every day, no matter what's going on, I want you to hold on to that vision of what you want and stop thinking about, stop talking about, and stop sharing with anyone all the stuff that you don't want. Because the more you talk about it, the more you think about it, the more that little nucleus gets energy and the more of it you keep getting. People say, I don't know how this can keep happening to me. And I want to be like, because it's all you ever talk about, right? It's think and grow rich. It's act as if. Ask, and it shall happen. Faith is not believing that God can. It's knowing that he will. It's knowing that he will. And all you have to do is plant the seed, give it energy every day, visualize it, pray and thank him in advance that it's already happened. The victory is already won. The battle has already been beat and you're coming out on top. See your name in the lights, guys. I know it's going to happen for you. Happy Thanksgiving.